What's up, guys? Back with another cut test. I've already done one of Kylie's knives. It was Mini APFK in '01. I didn't feel like I gave it. I didn't feel like I gave Kylie's knives in general a fair shake because I had a different cutting board then. I was using different rope. A lot of things were different. So I'm gonna go ahead and test my my 1.0 in N690. As you can see, it's been used. It's all scratched up now, but that's the way a knife is supposed to be. It still has its very, very, very lean convex grind. Wish I could get it where you could see how lean it really is at the cutting edge. I mean, it's super thin at the cutting edge. So I want people to keep that in mind. I don't know how it's going to perform. Really have no clue at all. But I do want you to keep in mind that the steel in itself is not meant to be a mega edge holder. And also this is an extremely thin grind. Extremely thin. And it cuts. It's the Porsche in the knife world. Or it's the Porsche of the knife world. I mean, it cuts so well. But here's initial sharpness, which I'm not sure if it's hair whittling or not, because it's a convex. It's touched up by me on sandpaper and a strop. It's easily push cutting sharp though. So I think I'll just go ahead and get to it. It cuts through this rope. I hope that this is translating into the video, but this is the least amount of force that I've had to use yet on these cutting videos. I mean, this thing takes no effort at all to get through the rope. None. That's really fun. Let me go ahead and test sharpness after the first few cuts, which it's still very sharp. Very, very, very sharp. It has a little roll in there, but most every steel does by this point. I don't know if y'all can tell how far back I can get on the knife and still make the cut. But I'm not having to put much force into this at all. This is literally the least amount of force I've ever had to use. This knife, it just melts right through the rope. Normally by this point I'm fatigued or something. I can't even tell I've been cutting anything. It's so comfortable. It's still very, very easily slicing phone book paper. All the way to the tip. That's surprising. I'll just go ahead and get to it again. Make sure we're in focus, which we are. I love this knife. I mean, I really wish that y'all could feel it. There's a big knot in that rope. I didn't want to cut through it. I may actually do a pass around with this knife. Because honestly, if you've never cut with a high performance knife, something like this will just blow your mind. I wish that I had a scale under here or something so I could demonstrate just how little force it's taken me to get through this. I think I'll do it. Just holding it like that. Ooh, the rope got nasty there. There's no visible damage to the edge. And keep in mind, this is an extremely thin edge. Extremely. It has no micro bevel on it anymore. I did put a 40-degree micro bevel on it, but I took it off. So Kylie did a little write-up for me where he tested the performance of his knives with a little micro bevel on there, and just a little hint of a micro bevel really affected performance, and performance is the reason I got his knives. So I didn't want to hinder that in any way, so I went back to I guess what you can essentially call a zero convex. By the way, the knife is still sharp. This thing is a joy to cut with. I don't know, it's probably a combination of the really thin grind and the convex that's making it so easy to cut with. I can see how a V-edge would kind of get bogged down and possibly even wedged into the rope. This convex is not having that problem. Let's see how thin little slices we can get off here. Just for fun. Look at that. I think I'll just go ahead and finish it out. Well, I'll test sharpness one more time before we finish. I feel one little spot in there. If I don't catch it on the rolls, it's still sharp enough to cut right through the phone book paper. You can hear that it's not a clean cut, but it's still definitely able to cut through it, which is impressive. Like I said, if I do my part and I don't snag the paper, the edge is more than sharp enough to get through it. A lot of this is the angle that I'm trying to cut at. I need to look. Okay, I'm in frame. It's not able to push cut at all, but if I make a nice little slice, it'll go through the entire length of the edge without snagging. I'm loving this. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm loving this. I had no doubt that the knife is a performer because I've been using it since I got it. But I honestly didn't know that it was this good of an edge holder. Whew. I just put a little bit of force into the cut and I sunk way down into the cutting board. I actually felt some resistance when I pulled the blade out. Really wish I had a scale here so y'all could tell just how little effort it's taken me. And look at how I'm getting to hold this handle. Normally I'm up on the blade, getting as much leverage as I can. I'm actually sitting back on this blade and I'm holding it in a very comfortable and intuitive and natural position, and I'm just kind of making my draw slices. It's very, very comfortable. If the knife didn't perform as well as it does, I wouldn't be able to grip it in this fashion. I would have to be choked up on it. I mean, I'm getting way back on the blade and making my draw slices. That was the last cut. See what we got here. Still able to slice. It's definitely got some rolls, but the edge is still sharp. It's still plenty sharp. Wow. Not hair shaving sharp. But as you can tell, that was the belly portion. That was right there where I'm doing the cutting. I'll do it again. I mean, hell, that was almost a push cut. I hope you caught that on the camera. See? Belly portion. Definitely still able to cut. If I do my part. Jeez, I'm terrible at cutting paper tonight. I mean, the blade, it has definitely dulled, but it's not nearly to the point that I had a feeling it would be. Honestly, the Convex, that really, really thin Convex, held up really well. Let me grab some printer paper. See what it does here. Oh, it'll cut this all day long. I have my account number on it. Yeah, it'll cut this all day long. Nice. I always want to do this too with Convexes. Just see how much a little touching up on a strop can help it. I don't suspect it's going to help this much because the damage incurred by this rope is normally too much for a strop to take out. But the parts of the edge that aren't actually damaged, they're just dulled a little bit, this should help it out. I don't suspect to see a really huge improvement. Yeah, that's too much for a strop to bring back. Definitely too much for a strop. It's going to take a little work on some sandpaper to get this one back. But it still performed more than admirably. I like this knife even more. I wasn't expecting performance like that, honestly. I knew it cut really, really well, but I thought it would lose its fine edge a lot quicker than it did. So I'm a happy camper, needless to say. Anyway, sorry this one ran on kind of long. Again, that's Kali's cKc 1.0 and N690, and it did very well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.